The McCloskeys were both charged with felonies and were placed on probation so they could keep their law licenses. They were both practicing attorneys. All of that for defending their home with guns they owned legally on their own property. But somehow this was allowed to happen in Minneapolis over the weekend, and nobody says a word.
You live in the neighborhood?
Yep, this is my block, this is my area. I don't go into other people's neighborhoods and try and intimidate them. I protect my people.
Are you giving up your name?
No, I'm okay with that.
All right, so assault-style rifle, AR-style rifle, not standing on his own property, he's on a street corner, and nothing. No police, nothing to see here. Joining us now for more, Mark and Patricia McCloskey. Great to have you both back tonight. Good to see you.
Hey, thanks for having us on.
It's great to have you back. Mark, I'm just curious, what did you think of that guy in Minneapolis holding that rifle on a street corner? Just not a care in the world.
Yeah, you know, it started up in Minneapolis back in May of 2020 with George Floyd, right? Where so many of these Soros prosecutors, including the one we had in St. Louis, viewed their job as protecting criminals against honest citizens instead of protecting citizens against criminals. And this guy looks like he's got a suppressor on that rifle too, which he probably doesn't have a license for. But I mean, here's a guy trying to protect criminals against being arrested by federal officers. And he's just fine and dandy. And everybody said, hey, this is great. We're standing on our own front porch facing 350 to 500 screaming monsters threatening to kill us and burn down the house and kill my dog. And we get arrested. I mean,
in broad daylight, by the way. Imagine what happened when the sun goes down. You know, I hate to even think of it. Patricia, can you remind everyone at home what you and your husband went through when this happened to you guys 6 years ago?
Well, it was 7 that actually that little tape that people always show is just a minor part of it. They broke through the gate. It's on private property. They broke the gate down. It was an iron gate that's been there for 150 years. And they came through 350 to 500 of them. They threatened to kill us. They burned down the house. They were screaming. Okay, there were so many more. This is 17 minutes of it. And they were screaming that's going to be, I'm taking over the house. That's going to be my bedroom. That's going to be my living room. And I mean, I'm going to put that gun up your, and it was just horrible. 17 minutes. And wow. What they show you is this little bit at the end after most had already gotten away. Right. Because, you know, the guns were effective.
Yeah. Mark, so in Missouri, it's my understanding that open carry is legal for anyone 19 years or older, meaning you were not breaking the law. By the way, you're on your own property. In Minnesota, it's essentially the same thing. You've got to be 21. Did you fear for your lives back in 2020?
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, God, yes. You know, our then 30-year-old daughter was having dinner with us that night. As soon as the mob broke through the gate, she actually fell on the ground in terror. And then she went upstairs and hid behind a sofa. I mean, first thing she said was, we're all going to die. Wow. I mean, that was the seriousness of it. And it was very difficult. I mean, there was a point where 2 guys were coming up the front steps at us wearing body armor, and the one guy's carrying a sidearm. And, you know, I leaned over to my wife and I said, you know, if that guy comes any closer, I'm going to have to kill him. And she leaned over to me and she said, you're not killing anybody tonight. The voice of reason. But it was tense, and we were very close to, you know, having a very, very bad situation.
And the authorities, they wanted, it's my understanding that you're both attorneys. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. They wanted to put you guys away. And you pled out to a misdemeanor ultimately. But they, you know, if you are charged with a felony and you're convicted of a felony in the state of Missouri, I believe you are disbarred. Is that accurate?
That's right.
That's right. And the pardon doesn't do any good at all. Now, to his credit, you know, President Trump went on live television with Judge Deneen a couple of days later and said that we'd done nothing wrong, and that if we hadn't done what we had done, we would have been horribly beaten or maybe killed. And then Governor Mike Parson, who was our governor at that time, he was actually instrumental in passing the Castle Doctrine, and he said he would pardon us. But the pardon doesn't mean much. I mean, even getting pardoned for misdemeanors, the Bar Association wanted to disbar us and take our licenses away. Took a couple of years to get that resolved. And you know, the fun part was that the city of St. Louis, when they take your guns away from you, even when you're not doing anything illegal, it's hell to pay to get them back. It took me 1,847 days, 3 lawsuits, 2 trips to the Court of Appeals to get my AR back, and another month and a half to get that little dumb Bryco pistol she was carrying.
Yeah, but she got it back. I'm glad to hear that. And I'm assuming that you're still Trump supporters and proud of it. Can I just I've only got about 20 seconds. I just want to ask you about this double standard that we continue to see, the way that people on the left are treated and the way that people on the right are treated in this country.
Well, there's only one unforgivable crime in America today, and that's standing up against the left. If you're on the left, you can do whatever you darn well please. But if you stand up against the left, you're going to be harassed for the rest of your life. There's not a double standard, it's a single standard. That is, the left prevails and the right gets crushed, at least in these George Soros-funded leftist cities.
Mark and Patricia, great to have you back on. Glad you guys are doing so well. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having us.